Hello, everybody, and welcome to our 20th season of Yeah, We Read It. Isn't that crazy?
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's our 20th season. My name is Laura. I am one of the hosts.
My name is Maggie and I'm the other host.
And Meggie and I said, wow, 20 seasons, 20 book series, not even counting our one-offs, crazy. What if we went a little bit more middle grade this season? So we are reading the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series by Rick Riordan. And we're already in for a fun ride. We're having so much fun. I'm very excited to talk about these books.
It's amazing. It is made for ages 9 to 12, but I gotta say, books that fuck have no age limit on them because these
No,
books fuck. These are
no,
awesome. I never read these.
I never read these as a kid, and I'm actually so bummed. And multiple
I
people have
am
texted me and
too.
Maggie being like, "Oh my god, you guys are doing this book series! I'm so excited about that." And so it's like, oh, this is a big deal for a lot of people, and I'm sad this I feel like didn't get like the. It was like one tier below super mainstream, you know?
I think that this should have gotten the Harry Potter treatment.
Yes, yes. This feels very like Harry Potter adjacent, but better. I haven't read the Harry Potter books. What the hell am I talking about? Better in the fact that I don't think Rick Riordan is anywhere near the author of the Harry Potter series,
That's
morals and
fair.
ethics
Rick
wise.
Riordan's politics, we're not really sure, but also I read a small smidgen about the author, and apparently he also had ADHD and
Yeah,
dyslexia, so he wanted to put all of that into a book that made kids feel acclimated to, I guess, quote, normal culture. My therapist says I have
yeah.
to stop saying normal,
No,
but
it
you know.
it's such a good message of like just because you might have any of these learning disabilities, you will be strong in other ways, and like you will have you're not stupid, you know,
And
you're
not only
still smart, and
strong,
I
but
love that.
elevated above society.
Yeah,
Like, you're better than everyone else. I think it is amazing, and I really wish that I had read these as a kid. I
same.
think that they would have been, yeah, once I said they should have gotten the Harry Potter treatment, I think that they were like a precursor to that world because the Harry Potter world had a lot of good world building. But the
Mhm.
Greek mythology is just so fun, and you
It's
learn
fun. It's
so
also a
much.
fun way to like digestibly take in Greek mythology. Like I know nothing about Greek mythology, and I know a little bit now that I read the series because like Rick's doing the due diligence of like this god, this creature, this backstory, this lore. It's interesting. It's really interesting.
I also think that he has a well of imagery to pull from with Greek mythology because you already have
Yes.
an idea in mind, and we don't have to sit too much in the world building and also fleshing it out for me to see his world. I really don't
Yeah.
think he puts a lot of descriptive text in here, but inherently I see everywhere he's going, and I
Yeah.
actually don't know how he does it.
No, it's weird because it's like in a way this is like Greek mythology fan fiction, but it plays so well and it's so like smartly done and it's so good.
It's so good. So, with that being said, we won't belay the point anymore. We will just dive right in. Opening on a chapter titled I Accidentally Vaporized My Math Teacher. Already, this is going to be a
That's
fun series.
fantastic. I skim the chapter titles. I always have, but there's some gems in here that I did not write down, Maggie. I'm sure you did.
There are some
Um
funny ones. There is like I Become Supreme Lord of the Bathroom, too. There's just classics
yeah,
within here.
I love this. We kind of get a you might be wondering how I got here moment where Percy's like, "Let me tell you something. I'm a half-blood, and this is how I found out." And he's going on a field trip. He thinks he's a normal human school, going on a field trip to a museum. He's besties with this guy named Grover. Percy has had a rough go of school. He has shifted schools pretty much every year. He
Mhm.
keeps getting expelled, and he notes weird things keep happening to me, and I can't quite put my foot on it.
He's just like seeing all these monsters and shit. He's shaking his head. He can't read. He's dyslexic. He's got
Yeah,
ADHD. He can't sit still. He's been kicked out of 6 schools in 6 years.
yeah,
And luckily for him, there is a plethora of schools in New York City where he resides. And they are heading to the Met for the day. They're in the Greek section of the museum, and Percy's teacher emphasizes to him, his name is Mr. Brenner, that he really needs to commit Greek mythology to memory. He's like
yeah.
really hard on Percy as a student. Percy's like leave me alone. I'm trying my
He's like, dude, I
best.
don't even know you. I'm probably gonna get kicked out of this school at the end of the year.
Exactly.
But they're talking Greek mythology. He also has this classmate bully named Nancy. She sucks.
Mhm.
And this book really kicks off with a moment of it's the lunch break, and Nancy's kind of bullying him in front of the fountain outside of the Met. And Percy notes that he kind of blacks out, and when he comes to, Nancy's in the fountain yelling about Percy did this. Percy's the one who put me in the fountain. So he's in trouble.
He is in trouble. Mrs. Dodd, who is his aforementioned math teacher, is like, I need to talk to you, and brings him in back to the Greek section of the museum where no one is. No one's around. He's like, well, shit, I really hope Mr. Brenner saw me walk in here because I'm about to be in so much trouble. And she's speaking this nonsense like it was a matter of time before we found you. We? Who's we? What's she talking about? And she starts getting glowing eyes. He still is just so freaked out that he is in trouble, but she is fully turning into this massive bird at the same time, and he's like, oh, bigger problems,
Yeah,
actually
he's
bigger
like, I
problems are
am in
happening.
trouble in a different way. My teacher has turned into a giant monster inside of the Met.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Brunner is there with a sword all of a sudden to help defeat Mrs. Dodds. And when Percy goes back outside, everything's normal. Nobody, and in fact, what gets worse, there was never a Mrs. Dodds. Everyone's like, what the hell, Percy? There's no Mrs. Dodds at this school. So he's also being gaslit now.
I was just about to say, I can tell this kid has been gaslit beyond
Oh,
repair because he thinks that this moment with killing Mrs. Dodds is just some hallucination he's had because he's high. He thinks there's
yeah.
magic mushrooms in his lunch.
Yeah, he's like, clearly I have been tainted with I like simply there's no explanation for this. This is all where we also learn that there's a lot of weird weather that's been happening in New York City, like hurricanes at random moments,
Mm-hmm.
weird storms. So again, the vibes are suspicious.
It's suspicious, and also everyone is like, who's Mrs. Dodds? Are you talking about Mrs.
Yeah,
Care, the real math teacher? And
yeah.
he's like,
Who
what?
the hell is Mrs. Care?
Who is she?
And Percy goes back to school, and for the next week, he's noticing that like everything's back to normal. He's really looking for a sign that there was a Mrs. Dodds. There hasn't been. And one day he's walking down the hall and he overhears the voices of Grover and Mr. Brunner. And they're not having a normal conversation. They're talking code because they're like, oh man, I don't know. I feel like he's onto it. He thinks something's clearly up. The Mrs. Dodds thing really threw him. And
We gotta keep him
so
alive for the summer solstice.
yeah, they clearly know something, and it's not looking good for Percy.
It's not looking good for Percy. Mind you, his grades are tanking. He's angrier than ever. He's going to be kicked out of Yancey Academy after this. So he still has to take exams. He takes the Latin exam. He's like, I just bombed that. And
Yeah,
after the Latin museum, Mr. Brenner is like, hey, can I talk to you? Let me just give you a little bit of peace of mind. Like, it's going to be so much better. You're going to be gone from Yancey Academy. And he's like, wow. Thanks, I guess. And he's like, no, no, no. It's not you. It's just you shouldn't be here. And Percy's like, way to make me feel better.
like to be clear, this is a you problem, but you're better off this way.
You're better
And
off. Yeah, exactly.
so Charlie Brown music is cued. Percy's, shuffling out of Yancey Academy. And Grover, his bestie's like, hey man, let me take the bus with you. And Grover's acting very weird. Things have not been the same since this field trip. And Grover's, again, being strange on the bus, he's
He
giving
gives
him
him
a
a
business card.
business
Yeah.
card. He has
And
this
he's like, in
quote.
case you need me this summer. And Percy's like, what the heck? Why would I need you this summer? I mean, if you want to hang out, cool, but.
I love the miscommunication because Percy is like, great, it's the address of Grover's summer house. He's rich like everyone else, and I'm going to my poor, dumpy apartment in Manhattan.
I know, because he's like, yes, the business card. That means he's rich. And the bus is also strange. The bus ends up breaking down on like a country road, which is not normal for New York. They stop outside of a fruit stand. Percy gets off and notes that there's three old women out there, and he watches them as they very ceremoniously cut this like rope ribbon, and Grover comes off the bus and is like, oh no, there's three old women over there. Percy, did they do anything? And he's like, they just cut a rope. What are you doing? He's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
He's like, we gotta go, this can't be happening again. And he's like, what do you mean? It was just three old ladies knitting the most ginormous socks
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
Oh my
They
god!
seem
And
fine.
Grover drops. Oh, this is bad. They never make it past sixth grade. No, 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 no. And it's like, you what, Grover? What?
He needs to work on emotional regulation because Percy is freaked out by this. He
Yeah,
ditches Grover at the train station and he's like, I gotta go to my mom's on the Upper East Side. So he takes a taxi there, somehow has cash to pay. He gets
yeah,
inside, and the whole thing with Percy is he has this shitty stepdad named Gabe, always smoking, always drinking, always playing
yeah,
poker at his house. Honestly, I would do
yeah.
that. That kind of
Percy's
seems
call-
awesome.
Percy calls him Smelly Gabe, and we get a little bit of a backstory that Percy's mom is awesome and she loves him very much. She always believes in him. She's never mad that he gets expelled, but she always like thinks he'll do better at the next place. And we also get a little more backstory that he never met his dad, and his dad was mysteriously lost at
Lost at
sea.
sea.
So,
Yeah.
um, but mom has a plan so that Percy doesn't have to immediately start hanging out with Gabe, who again is awful. They're going to go to a cabin in Montauk that they happen to go to pretty much every summer. And Percy's mom's also mentioning that maybe this summer he could go to a special summer camp, but she's a little worried about doing that because that means things will be really different. And that's also strange because it's like, what do you mean if I go to a summer camp, things will be different? It's a summer camp.
Percy's just kind of signed up for this ride where no adult is going to tell him what he's doing and he just has to vibe, I suppose.
Literally, like, unfortunately, Percy is very much a kid in this book where it's like, nah, what we say goes.
What we say goes.
He
And
has no agency.
he accepts it pretty much. So later that night, when they're at Montauk Beach, Percy is having a bit of a nightmare. And in the middle of the night, there's a knock on the door, and it's Grover just kind of banging down their door in the middle of a hurricane.
And
And he explains everything to Percy's mom. He's like, listen, actually, it has been worse than you thought. He's not telling you everything. We gotta go.
we also need to note that Graver shows up at this door as a satyr. His legs are goat legs. So he's currently in his true form as a satyr. Not going to mention it, not going to acknowledge it. The stakes are high. They need to get Percy out of here. Mom is driving the Camaro that they took from Gabe, and Gabe's really mad about that.
He is.
And Mom's just kind of like monologuing as she's rapidly driving through the woods, being like, so here's the thing, you're hugely in danger. I have a plan. I'm going to get you to safety. You're not going to worry about me. I'm very like just into getting you safe. In the midst of all of this monologue, the car crashes.
Yes. So on this way to the camp, car swerves off the road into a ditch. And the entire time, Percy has been able to see this shadow that seems like a very tall figure kind of coming after him. And Grover did explain that, Percy, you're half human, half god. The monsters have figured out your scent, so they are going to be coming for you fast. He's like, surely this shadow isn't a monster, though. And as it
It
gets
is.
closer, he realizes that it has horns and it is the Minotaur. So they need to get up this hill that is so close, and those are the property lines to the camp where the monsters cannot get in.
Yes. So they run. Mom's kind of playing shield for Percy. Percy still doesn't get it. He's like, what do you mean? You can get to safety too. But what Percy doesn't know is humans are not allowed past this camp line. And he ultimately is able to get free from the Minotaur. But the mom gets got. And
I
instead of her
know.
dying, she basically gets absorbed and like broken down by a giant gold light. And this sends Percy into a frenzy. He ends up destroying the Minotaur and gets to the safe house before he collapses.
Yeah, he climbs up this little tree. The bull barrels into it, and he jumps on his back and just like rips his horn from him. So he
Insane.
comes into camp, honestly, dick swinging, being like, "I got the Minotaur's horn. Look at me." Woohoo!
Except he's asleep. He's very much dead. He wakes up very confused. Grover is there, and Grover's like, "Welcome to camp, buddy." And he's like, "What the fuck?"
And he's like, "Where's my Minotaur horn? I gotta show everyone at camp. I got the
Yeah,
Minotaur's horn."
yeah. So more suspiciously is Mr. Brunner is at the camp. He takes him to like what they call the big house, which is like Camp HQ. Mr. Brunner is there. So is somebody they call Mr. D and a girl named Annabeth, who is another camper there. And Mr. Brunner's like, let's not do the Mr. Brunner thing. Call me Chiron, and I'm gonna just lay it out for you, buddy. The gods are real. I am Zeus's son. Mr. D is Dionysus, the god of wine. Take that in. So Percy's
Take it
learning
in.
a lot real quick.
Exactly. He's meeting the people. There are the half god, the god sons there. And he goes up to Dionysus playing a card game. And he's really grumpy. I love that he summons wine just out of nowhere. And he
Yeah,
realizes, oh, wait, Dad Zeus is going to be pretty mad if he summons wine. So he just turns it into a Diet Coke because he's a little bit of a player that
yeah,
hooks up with wood nymphs. And Zeus doesn't like that. But Dionysus explains that the gods live on Earth. They sort of follow whatever country holds the most power right now, and that is currently America. So Olympus is above America. And he also explains that gods don't really die, they're just sort of defeated for a little bit before they come back.
yeah. But what we learn is because Percy is half god, he can die whenever he wants. He doesn't get to come back. None of the
Bummer.
campers do. That's the rule. We also learned that Chiron, who was previously Mr. Brunner, who is in a wheelchair, is only in a wheelchair because he's actually a centaur. So to disguise himself as a human, he would put himself there. We also learn a little bit of backstory about Grover, who, as we know, is now a satyr. Chiron drops that Grover's actually 28 years old, but in like satyr years, that means he's the same age as Percy.
Mhm.
So that's also hilarious. And Grover's a protector. He's meant to be like a sidekick kind of guide to make sure that campers get to places safely.
Yes, and this was his second chance at redemption. He kind of biffed it a little bit, so he is going to go in front of a council of 11 for them to decide if his performance was good enough for him to become what he wants to be, which is like a searcher. And
Yeah.
that is just searching for a guy who basically will establish peace amongst nature because humans have,
Yes.
we fucked up nature.
Yeah,
So,
Percy gets dropped off at cabin 11, which is Hermes's cabin, and it's a mixture of half-bloods that are the children of Hermes and also the children who have not been claimed by a god but are half-bloods. So it's packed. It's people are sleeping in sleeping bags on the floor. That's how packed it is. We're introduced to a 19-year-old camp counselor named Luke. He's been there for a while, clearly, so he's there to kind of guide the newer campers and show them the ropes.
yes, and so he is taking him around, or not Luke. Luke is just like chill. He's like a 19-year-old guy that Annabeth, the blonde, who
Yeah.
is hanging out with Percy this entire book, is obsessed with.
Yeah.
And Annabeth is not really impressed with Percy anymore.
No.
Percy, like I said, dick swinging. He's like, I killed the Minotaur. And she explains, did you not listen to Dionysus? They don't die. They
Yeah. She's
just
like,
go away and heal.
oh, you got the Minotaur horde? The Minotaur's still alive. He'll just be back soon. Annabeth also drops like, oh, your dad's dead? No, he's